All right, hello, and welcome back, or whoever's watching, or just me. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I felt like I had a lot of stuff I just went through recently, and yeah, been feeling good regardless of everything, and I've been going through some interesting stuff. I wouldn't call them too like difficult or hard, but just a lot of interesting stuff. Um, where do I begin? I guess I'll briefly explain yesterday a bit. Um, I guess yesterday I felt um, not quite. I guess it starts, or for the past 2 days, I've been feeling anxious every morning. Um, 'Cause I think shit's gonna hit the fan constantly, or stuff is gonna happen because, of course, my ex has started talking to my friend, and I don't know what she's doing. Of course, my friend is starting to take her side a bit more. We both kind of, I guess, trauma bond a little over past relationship decisions and their interactions with, I guess, men. I don't know. I'm not going to try to assume, but I guess that's briefly explaining that without going into too much detail. And of course, I said yes. My ex has been showing all my texts I sent her and complaining how I sent her text that said, I will always love you and I miss you and things like that. And of course, she brought up my angry text when I wanted to move on from her and she refused to communicate. And I got angry and sent her something. And yeah. And that was like back a long time ago in July. And she was bringing that up now. So, regardless, I'm on her mind. It seems that she's thinking about me, upset things. And of course, she was upset that I didn't give space. But now, she's decided to come out and talk when I've given quite a bit of space and not contacted her in a while. But yeah. And I've been anxious every morning because I don't know what shit she's gonna start up, right? And I felt that on Monday, felt that on Tuesday, and finally Wednesday, when I think this shit is gonna hit the fan, I feel better. I don't know, maybe the shit has already hit the fan and I'm gonna be receiving some text or something. But yesterday, I got over a huge thing of not feeling anxious anymore. Um, Basically, yesterday I was just following my intuition. Let me to this shop that had clothes. It was selling a bunch of socks and had a bunch of like silly socks there. And I love silly socks with designs on it. This was one of them. I started wearing it. Has hedgehog on it. It's very cute, very cute. But there were socks I liked better, right? There were socks I liked better there that I wanted to get, but my intuition, for whatever reason, told me to get these socks. I didn't even want that sock, but it called out to me. It felt like to get this sock, and there was another sock there. It wasn't even my favorite one, but it called out to me to get it. And I would have preferred to get other socks. My intuition said to get those, and I got them. And that hedgehog sock was more expensive. Like there's a bunch of socks there for like $2 basically, $2.50, and that hedgehog one was a premium one for freaking like $6. An expensive sock for a hedgehog that I didn't even really liked him much. There was other socks I liked that were even better than that one for $2.50, but I didn't grab it. I grabbed this other sock and this one because I went my intuition, and my intuition said, get these two socks. Sounds silly, but that's what I did. After that, I found my intuition more. I left there, and I was going to walk back to where I was before, but then, where I was before, but then my intuition, looks like it was leading me back there, but then my intuition pulled me away. It started to get me to the left. Like, why did it go to the left? And then I go look to the left there. It's like, okay, that's where I would eat in a half hour. It's not time yet. I'm not going to eat right now. So, regardless, I just went with it. Like, okay, I'll just walk there. I went my intuition and just walk there, even though I felt it was stupid. Like, where's this going to lead to? I don't know. So I walked there, and my intuition felt me to walk another way, and then it walked me back to a place I walked with my ex once before. And I remembered that day a lot. It was a place where younger people normally get help, but she's not young anymore, so she couldn't get the help anymore. She's 30 now, and it's made for young adults, so she couldn't get the help anymore. And she had a very, very hard day. I walked her there. I asked her, want me to walk in with you? She said, I'll be fine. She wasn't fine when we talked about it later. She wasn't fine. It didn't go well. She was feeling horrible. All this stuff. Yeah. And then with this realization, like, I know she might be starting shit now and all this stuff, but then this even more love came in, and understanding, and like that thought of like, she's still a child in some ways, or a young adult. I mean, not too much. I mean, she's just like 5 years younger than me. Not too much, but it's something. But in a lot of ways, she hasn't mentally matured in other ways. And of course, with her emotions, all this stuff, and so many trauma she's gone through has really stifled her growth more. And of course, all my stuff stifled my growth for so long too. And hell, I'm 36 now. Maybe she can go through this stuff even younger. I hope so. But going through this made me have more compassion, more understanding, more love, and just, to quote an old lady, let them. If she's going to be angry, she's going to be doing things, she's going to be causing chaos, just let her. Let her, and just let things be. That's what I'm going to do. Not going to do anything. I'll let it be. And yeah, then the anxiousness went away. And it was really nice to feel that the anxiousness was gone after that. So yeah, the anxiousness and left, and then I went back and really thought about the socks for a moment. The first sock symbolizes her. It was like a bunch of colorful cats on it. The second sock, the hedgehog, also represents actions and what she's doing. Basically, hedgehogs are a very defensive creature. Hedgehog represents self-preservation. Made me understand the meaning of the sock. But yes, it's protection, self-preservation, these things. She's doing these things out of anger, out of all this stuff, to protect herself, her ego. Trying to try to feel better about guilt. All these things is the way the human body reacts when stuff happens. And in her case, yes, months later, after a breakup and all this stuff, after her mistakes and all this, now she's probably processing this information. And of course, if you just jump right into a new relationship like she did, you don't really process anything. You just distract, avoid, and then the problems come later. And then yes, your rebound is doomed to fail. Always is. That's normally how it always goes. So yeah. Not going to assume that, but based on science and everything, if you've been emotionally invested in a person and you just quickly move on to a new relationship, that's never healthy. Ever. So, and I did that immediately for a little bit. And I realized very quickly, I am not feeling better. So I stopped. And now I've been single, not dating, uninstalled all the apps, not seeking, not anything like that. So right now I don't feel need for it. But yeah, I did do that at first. And, well, I understand from first experience that jumping into a new relationship does nothing. It delays, it just prevents growth. And yeah. So yeah, anxiousness went away, and then I just have love, compassion, all of these things after that. Then I talked to another person. Another friend has no idea of all this real, stuff going on or anything. But we started to talk a bit. We got a little spiritual conversation. And we started, and she also knew about my ex talking with my friend, and it's causing some division. And then she said something interesting. She said, "Let them." And I looked at her like, "Let them?" I just watched a video recently of an old lady just saying that. This video is over a year old, and we both happened to watch it around the same time. She found it on Instagram. I found it on YouTube, and she looked at me like, "Yeah." It's like we both basically watched it at the same time. Let them. And then yes, I said, "Yes, just let them do what they're gonna do." And she smiled at me. She's like, "Yes." And then I started to just say like regardless of what happens, and how angry she is, I've forgiven her. I've always loved her. All this stuff. And then she looks at me and says, "Did she mirror you?" And then I smiled and smiled like a big grin, like, I don't believe this woman. Did she somehow feel that too? And then I got closer to her, and I look at her like, and I'm like, yeah, she mirrored me. And then I started to get into more detail about a lot of other things, like into psychology, what happens when we meet the mirror, got into the whole my spiritual awakening stuff, and how, I don't know, just my growth in general and how much better I've been feeling. And then she got into herself too, how she's been doing a bit of self-discovery and all this stuff. And then we were talking about unconditional love too, how this spiritual journey also taught me what unconditional love is, which you only learn when you have a child. I didn't have a child, so now I learn it through this process. And yeah, it was quite something. Quite an amazing talk. And then I watched a movie, and then something in me just remembered, like, I had like a near-death experience when I was like 5 years old. And I was like remembering it, how at the time, how I did see the light, how I felt a voice said, "It's not your time." I had like a very bad fever. I had like 105 Fahrenheit, and I have a heart condition. I remember in time, I was delirious. I felt like I wasn't present. I felt like I was hallucinating, all this stuff. And at one point, yes, I felt like I was going through a tunnel, a very bright tunnel, blinding tunnel, just bright as hell, and those words coming out. And then it said, "Not your time," and then, I don't know, I just started feeling better after that point. And yeah, I was asking my mom about it, and then that took quite a few things, and then also was make me think, maybe, maybe this near-death experience has something to do also with the twin flame thing, you know? Did I have a near-death around the time that she was born? I started to really reach. But yeah, the timing is around there, but it's not important. I was thinking, oh, maybe when I was dying, my soul reached the source, and then she was born, and that's how the twin flame. Yeah, doesn't matter. Anyway, I told my teacher about all of this, and then he got a little testy with me. He's like, "What does this have to do with anything? You know, all this stuff." And I'm like, it's like, why is it important? And I'm realizing, yeah, you're right. Why am I making this connection like this now? And I've made a self-reflection on that. That's like, why am I making this connection? Why am I forcing this connection, this thing together with her? I don't have to do that. Why am I doing that? So instead, I started to go back. I don't know. For some reason, I felt compelled to just go back to old messages on my older phone. And for some reason, I was drawn to this. I don't even remember really reading it ever, or if I did, it was like completely removed from my memory. But it was just 2 messages that my mom sent my ex-wife. I don't even remember reading it, but I read it now. And yeah, I was supposed to read it then, right there at that moment. Basically, my mom was saying, "I hope you find what you're looking for." While on a trip to Portugal, my son was always still thinking about you. Things to get for you, all this stuff. Even when I wanted to get him stuff, he was thinking of stuff for you. And how much he loved you. And it's true, I did. And then she's saying, like, I felt like you never loved him the way he loved you. And then she says, and then I don't like how he justifies your actions. in what you do because how much he loved you. And then she said, I will never ever forgive you for what you did. She said all those things. And yeah, maybe really reflect on me. I was always very forgiving. All of these things, always loving, always forgiving, always thinking of another, and never, I don't know, I just let so much shit just go my way and just let it fly when it's not right. When it's not right and it's not respectful to me. And then the biggest thing what she said is justifying your actions. I can't be justifying actions. I can't be justifying my actions, my ex-wife's actions, all this stuff. I can, but it's still right to forgive. I think it's still right to forgive. I forgive them. At the same time, you can't justify the actions done to you. If you've been wronged, it was wrong. You can forgive, but don't try to justify it. It was a wrong thing to do, and you need to accept that. No justifying. You can accept it, what it was. It was a wrong thing. And of course, in my case, always still love, always forgive, but don't justify. And then this realization really opened up something in me even more. Made me realize, like, even if she does come back, should she really be in a relationship to begin with? Even if she does come back, says she loves me, all these things, should she be in a relationship to begin with? And should I take her back? And I really thought about this. And then, of course, this realization made me realize just how much more I do love her. How much I really do love her. And in me, I love her so much more than anyone else in the world. I do. But it's so much love that I understand that she shouldn't be in a relationship. And I cannot do that to her. I cannot do that to her if she ever does come back. I'll flat out say, just to say she loves me, all this stuff, wants to come back. I will be there for her. I will support her. And I would want to really, really support her. But I'll flat out say no relationships. It's like, I'll agree not to be in one. You agree not to be in one. I'm okay not being in one. And I would just flat out say, but I will be there for you. You know, I'll support you. All this stuff. But no relationship. Because that's what she needs. She can't heal. She can't go through things if she's in a relationship. She has to be alone. She can't be dependent, codependent on another person. She needs to get love for herself. She needs to be absolutely not dependent on another for affection, for anything. She needs to learn self-love for herself first. If I enter a relationship with her, she will never heal. She will never get better. She will never go through those trauma. It'll just repeat the cycle again. And I see that now. I accepted that now. If there is never a point where she does come back, that it can't come back to the same way it was before. That it'll have to be very different. And I was thinking for a moment I couldn't love her ever, like I couldn't love her more, and here it is. I love her more than anyone else, and I realized that she should not be with anyone. Not me, not anyone else. No one can fix her except herself, and I'll support her. And I'll be fine with that. But yeah, this felt really big for me. I lost all expectations from her, and this final thing, it's like lower than expectations. It's like full acceptance, I guess, of the reality of the situation. And in a way, realizing even more how much I do love her, and realizing what she actually needs. And she doesn't need me, she needs herself more. And I know why she does everything she does. She shouldn't be in a relationship, and I'm okay with that. Of course, she's probably in one now, or so on, or something, and yeah, it's probably not going well. But I don't think it ever will go well if you just quickly jump into a new one. But yeah, it was quite a realization for me today. It felt good. It felt even more freeing for me. It felt nice. So yeah. What a day. But yeah. Other than that, today, I don't know, doing pretty good today. No complaints. Didn't feel anxious this morning at all. Nothing bad. Pretty good day, all things considering. And I'm pretty sure this is the day when shit's hitting the fan, probably. But whatever, it doesn't matter. But it's a good day. And yeah, I guess that's it for now. It's probably a little long video, but yeah, thanks for watching, or not, or just me recording. But yeah, later.